The game has changed. The new radar, armor damage mitigation, and the massive changes to shields have led to a meta shakeup of a scale that we haven't seen in a long time in Star Citizen. I think it's fair to say that many of these changes have had a mixed reception, but I think it's clear that one fighter in particular has risen to a unique position amongst its peers. The L-21 Wolf isn't only one of the best fighters in the game currently, it's also the only one with a hard and defined niche. I believe it will become a waystone for how CIG are planning to balance light fighters in the future. Let's start by going over what makes the L21 so special in Alpha 4.7, and first and foremost in that is its unique bespoke weapons. The Wolf and Alpha Wolf get access to unique size 4 ballistic and laser repeaters that outclass their modular counterparts significantly. Both boast a unique projectile velocity of 1650 meters per second, but the ballistic Gatlings get the same nerf that all ballistic size 4s seem to get, so they have overheating issues, deal less alpha damage, and overall this leads to them being a poor choice. But if you can get your hands on the Alpha Wolf's Axiom L22 laser repeaters, oh boy, you have quite the package. The Axioms deal 85 alpha damage and have 75 shots in the magazine. This means that they hit significantly harder than the size 4 Rhino, and they do almost as much damage as the NDBs, which have an alpha of 85.5. All of this while having a faster projectile speed means the Axiom laser repeaters are a huge advantage in combat against ships smaller than a hammerhead. They outspeed the NDBs from a ship that's similar in size to an Arrow while doing dramatically more damage than the CFs, which lets them maintain relevance in attacking larger ships. So the Axioms are awesome, but why am I putting them on the standard L21 instead of just getting an Alpha Wolf? Well, the Alpha Wolf actually flies differently to the standard Wolf. The Alpha flies more like a traditional fighter, like a Gladius, while the standard Wolf can reach SCM speeds that blur the lines between fighter and interceptor while still having decent strafes. In 4.7, we saw massive buffs to shield strengths, and a reduction in engagement range from the radar changes. That means that the Wolf's extra speed equals a huge amount of additional survivability, and it gives it the ability to push and dictate the fight. You can outrun attackers and catch fleeing ships, while still being able to outduel any interceptor foolish enough to turn with you, all while having a huge weapon type advantage in most matchups thanks to those Axiom repeaters. In a team fight or a 1vx scenario, this speed is such a real game changer, and it outclasses any advantages the additional strafe speed and turn rate that the Alpha Wolf might give you. A pack of L21 Wolves should be a terrifying threat for any fighter swarm to deal with, and many large ships as well. So that's it then. Game over. The Wolf with Axiom repeaters is broken. The new meta, everyone should fly it, right? Well, no. See, the Wolf and the Alpha are uniquely positioned in the light fighter category because of those unique bespoke weapons. Simply put, they cannot attack anything larger than a C2. Other fighters like the Hornet, Gladius, and even the Arrow can fit a special laser cannon in the mixed cannon repeater loadout that gives them the ability to punch up and damage any ship in the game, affording they get through the shields. But the Wolves simply can't do this. They are hard fixed into their role. They hunt other fighters, gunships, and attack craft. They need to lean on heavy hitters to strip armor before they can contribute to a large-scale capital ship fight. This means that no matter how strong the Wolf is, it cannot win any large big capital fight alone, even if you have dozens of them. You need to leverage ships of different capabilities to do that. Now, sadly, different doesn't exactly mean larger. One of the failings of the current Tier 0 armor system is that any ship with modular weapons can be kitted out in a way that can do everything. In a way, it's actually good that the Wolf is so dominant in his anti-fighter niche, because if it was only okay, there'd be really no reason to pick it over a Gladius with NN14s and NDB loadouts. In my opinion, this is the niche that CIG envisioned for the light fighter category of ships. Because of the fixed weapons of the Wolf series, they were actually able to achieve it here, and I think in the future we will see more changes that bring fighters closer to the performance and niche of the Wolf, rather than changes raising the Wolf to be able to attack all ships. Now, of course, that is entirely speculative. Honestly, I really believe that CIG needs to put out a modern update to their vision for multi-role fleet combat and exactly lay out what roles they want each category of ships to perform in a large-scale engagement. Without doing that, it really feels like we are grasping at straws trying to figure out if armor is actually in a good place or not. So let's move away from speculation and into the build that I recommend to run on the L21. With radars taking so much more power than before, I have had to slightly modify the usual loadout, so let me know if you disagree with my take. So as mentioned before, we will be running the Axiom L22 repeaters as our weapons. These pull 2.4 pips of energy, so with 3 pips of power, we're able to fully power the weaponry. Now we're going to move into what's kind of more controversial about this build. Instead of doing 2 FR66s, I'm doing one size 1 Mirage grade A stealth shield generator paired with an FR66. This means we only need to spend 4 pips of energy into our shields while still getting maximum recharge rate. Now yes, we do lose about 1100 HP when it comes to shield HP. We keep that recharge rate and we can keep it maxed out in power. For coolers, we do need to run 2 size 1 Snowblind grade A coolers. I could not run the ship on only one, but this is our minimum investment of energy in coolers. The power plant, this does require a JS300 military grade A power plant because you need all the pips of power you can possibly get to run this ship. Pair that with a VK00 military grade A quantum drive and you have the build. This allows us to fully power the weapons, shields, and thrusters while also maintaining some power in our radar. That you even get 4 pips of power in your radar with this build. Let me know what you think. So there it is, the L21 Wolf. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my take. Honestly, while editing this video, I remembered the flight blades available to the Gladius and the Arrow, and those might be very interesting to try out to see if they provide a comparable speed advantage to the Wolf. I also want to say I'm sorry for my nearly month-long delay on returning to putting out videos. With all the changes and unknowns in 4.7, I felt it best to wait instead of putting out misinformation. Anyways, if you guys made it this far, consider leaving me a like or subscribing, and let me know down below how you are feeling about 4.7 so far. I have a lot of thoughts myself that I can't wait to share with you in future videos. Thanks for watching. This has been Citizen Cal, reminding you to stay dangerous out there, pilots.